Without further ado, I would like to welcome our wonderful, amazing town manager, Kendra Amaral, who has to dash in a few minutes. And she will give us a picture of some of the really interesting and important climate initiatives that are underway here in Kittery.
Great. Thank you, Melissa. And thank you all for being here. We're really excited to be working with Kittery Can on a number of climate initiatives. We have already had some great success with the compost program that Melissa had mentioned, and it just is one great example of how a network of residents can get engaged and work with us as a municipality to move things forward. So, excited to see what comes from the community solar effort, seeing how successful the composting effort was already. So with that, I'm here to talk to you tonight about what we as a municipality are doing for solar. So the town of Kittery entered into a program with a number of our neighboring communities to buy our solar energy through a net energy billing program. So this is something that's allowed under state law. And what it allows us to do is basically buy our energy from a solar energy generator elsewhere in the state of Maine and get a credit on our energy costs. The way it works out is about 80% of the school's power and 84% of the municipality's power as of today, or as of the power consumption we use today, will be generated from solar in two projects in Maine. One is in Wilton, Maine, and the other is in, sorry, I have to look at my notes, in Oakland, Maine. So those are two solar projects. They're being built elsewhere, which means the land isn't being taken up here in Kittery, but we are going to get that solar energy. One of the reasons why we chose those numbers, 80% and 84%, is because these contracts are 20 years long, and we know that we're going to be doing some more energy efficiency work. So we have in our capital improvement plan coming for this fiscal year to turn all of the lights in the KCC to LED, and then to do the town hall and the police station. And we know we're going to be having additional changes over the course of 20 years that's going to reduce our overall energy consumption. And since we're entering into contracts to purchase a certain amount of kilowatt hours, we need to make sure that we were estimating that at what we knew we would absolutely need. So we put a goal on ourselves that other 16% on the town side, 20% on the school side, we're actually going to be able to just reduce our energy consumption from doing a better job in energy efficiency with our buildings and our building maintenance systems. So those are, that's how we're purchasing our power. The projects are in process right now. So one of them has permits and is being built and is expected to be online by June or July of this year, which means we'll start to get our energy from that. And then the other one will be coming online towards the end of the year. What it also means for the town, though, is we're saving money, oddly enough. So we have a set price for what we purchase our energy at, and that's our supply, but we are also getting money back off of the cost of deliveries. So CMP charges a tariff, a delivery cost to get that energy to you. So it doesn't matter who you buy your energy from, you're still paying CMP something to get it to the place that you're using it. And what this contract does is it gives us 27.5% off of that tariff. It's one of the best rates that any community has gotten in the state of Maine, and it's because we did this collaboratively with a number of communities in our area, so we were able to really boost up that purchasing power and be a real player for these solar companies that were looking to sell the energy that they're going to produce at their sites. So over the course of the 20-year contract, we're estimating, just based on where tariffs were at a year ago, which, by the way, were 0.6% less than what they're at today, so they've been growing steadily. So even on those lower rates, we're estimating we'll save approximately $250,000 on our energy over the course of that contract. So we get solar and we get energy savings. The last wonderful thing about this program is the town receives the renewable energy credits from the energy that we purchase. So if you've ever heard of RECs, those are renewable energy credits. Those are basically saying that we are utilizing renewable energy. Oftentimes those are sold. So companies will buy and sell RECs saying, we're going to buy what you're doing good for renewable energy. We're going to buy that so we don't have to, and we can claim that. But what our intention is that we're not going to sell the RECs, we're going to retire them. So basically that means that we are contributing positively to the use of renewable energy in the world and in our country, not just using it to sell. So it really is a good project. It was something that we put a lot of effort into with our partners, and we're very excited to be able to move forward. We will note that the law changes, and in fact, once we inked this deal with Encore, with the Encore Energy System, the state law changed again, because I think from some pressure from CMP, but what we had locked in was already set in there, and since the projects were already into the permitting stage, it's not going to impact them. So that's good news, because we do know that there were communities that were behind us in their process, and we're sort of following the lead that we as neighbors were doing, and we're getting hung up because of the state law changes. So we're really excited to have been able to get this done and get this done for the benefit of the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendra. It's very exciting to learn that we're not only doing the right thing, we're saving money while we do the right thing. I mean, what better combination is there than that? Oh great, Rebecca is here. Because you have to run, I would say if you have a minute and there are any questions in the audience, would you entertain them, or what's your?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions? One in the back, and Jamie has a microphone she will bring up to you.
Kendra?
Yep.
Thank you very much for what you have done. Could you explain the retiring the RECs to me? I'm a little confused about that.
She's asking to explain what it means to retire the renewable energy credits, the RECs.
Absolutely. So when the idea of renewable energy credits was created as a climate change initiative, it became a commodity. So it's something that companies can buy and sell and trade, and they can utilize that in terms of not only their assets on their financial books, but also as part of tax benefits and other sort of financial benefits. So RECs became a commodity that are sold, bought, and traded. When you retire them, though, it says that no, we are saying that this renewable energy use is just done. It's not something we're trading to someone else so that they can use fossil fuels and say, but see, we're offsetting with this. So it basically means we're adding to the overall renewable energy use as opposed to just trading it for fossil use someplace else, if that makes sense.
Great explanation.
So her comment was the REC started in 1963, but I know the market itself, the trading, buying and selling really picked up when climate change became a forefront issue for the country, probably about 15, 20 years ago. One of the other things that we've been working on for at least the last 3 years is working with our neighbors on climate change. Because quite honestly, climate change doesn't end at the border, right? Greenhouse gas emissions don't know where the Kittery and York border is. I will tell you, we know where the Kittery and York border is. I don't think York knows where the Kittery and York but climate change doesn't know borders. And so what we realized as a region is that we had to work together in order to make real change, in order to have a real impact. Because if we're going it alone, each community on their own, we're not going to be able to do as much, and we're not going to be as successful as we could as a group. So we have been working regionally for at least the last 3 years on a whole host of climate change and climate adaptation efforts. And the community net energy billing solar project was one of those.